for me is an emotion. It is not just brick and mortar. In fact, I think it's a feeling. It's a feeling of warmth, it's a feeling of love, safety and comfort. Home is your best friend. And somehow I believe that when we do things out of passion, they turn out to be the best. Hi LBB, I am Monika. I am a home decor enthusiast, a home stylist, a businesswoman and the founder of Sparkle Couch. Welcome to my home. So from the entrance we come directly to the living room. This is the drawing room of my house, and I believe apart from being aesthetically beautiful, it is very important for the drawing room and for the seatings to be comfortable, because this is the area that we get to spend a lot of quality time with one another. We entertain a lot of family and friends here. So this particular sofa is actually an L-shaped sofa, and I got this custom made from Bombay, and we ensured that the seating was so wide so that I could throw a lot of cushions around, and yet the seating was comfortable for the guests to come and sit. You will find a lot of vintage pieces inside my home. In fact, because I am a Bohemian, I love color. I love a lot of pops of colors here and there, and a lot of wooden masks is what you will find in my home. A lot of Raja Ravi Varma paintings also you will find in my home, because these are the ones that lend a very beautiful color and a very beautiful ambience to the entire place. This here is a very interesting piece. I am very fond of collecting old telephones, and this is an old telephone that I just happened to pick it up from a place in Bombay. I absolutely love this piece, and on top of this I've kept a flower vase, and I think the color, it looks very beautiful. The bluish green hues, they lend a very rustic and a very beautiful appeal to the entire room. So we come further here. This is a very old mantle. It's a wooden piece. It's a vintage find, and this actually is many years old, because where I bought it from, somebody was just breaking down a haveli, and there are many things that I just picked out of there, this being one of them. It serves as a very beautiful mantle, and if you just put some fairy lights on it, it gives you a very nice Christmassy kind of a feel also during Christmas. So this again is a very old console. I try to keep the consoles and the old pieces of furniture just as they are, without actually filling in the gaps and the cracks also, because that is what kind of tells you about the authenticity of a piece and also about how old it actually is. So I've just kept it the way it is. This is a different thing that I just kept on top of it because I wanted a huge mirror. Mirrors actually reflect a lot of light. They give you a sense of enhanced space, and that is why this mirror. That's a very old weighing scale, if you can see, and I believe that whenever we have an affinity towards a particular thing, or whenever we get so much attracted towards a certain type of aesthetic, we do have some connection that goes to the past. It's almost like the past seeping into the present. So wherever I go, I tend to collect a lot of weighing scales. This is one, for example. I haven't repainted it because it looks beautiful the way it is. This is another one, which of course is an old tarazu. I use it in different ways. Actually, sometimes I serve snacks also in these tarazus, and sometimes it's just a flower stand, or sometimes it's just a candle stand that I use it like. So as we move along, I've kept these sheer curtains here because this room, it overlooks a very beautiful garden. So a lot of conversations happen here. In fact, we entertain family and friends in our living room, and we also get to spend a lot of good times together. These are a set of old doors. Old doors are something that kind of beckon me. I mean, over a period of, I think, past 10 years, I must have collected hordes and hordes of them. And I believe that my home never can be complete without the set of these doors. Another very different thing that you'll find here, these two tables. These are actually takhats. Takhats are the ones that people used to sit on when you go to smaller towns. People still come and sit down on takhats, but somehow I wanted to keep two tables here because I didn't want too much of a tiling showing. That's why, to offset this, I have placed two takhats here. And on the takhats, of course, I've kept these little vintage accents. So from the drawing room, we come directly to the dining room. The dining area is a space where we get to spend a lot of quality time with each other. A lot of conversations happen over dinner, and For me, it has to be a very warm and a very cozy space. This particular piece holds a sentimental value for me. It's actually a copper jug which I got from Leh. In fact, to tell you a little bit about it, I had gone to Leh visiting my husband when he was posted there, and almost every morning I used to hop into this Fauji Jonga and go seeing the neighboring villages and everything. And the people were so simple and so warm and so inviting. You can't imagine, they actually ushered me into their homes and showed me around. So there was one such elderly woman who opened the doors of her home for me, showed me around, offered me a cup of butter tea and gave me this as a parting gift. I was overwhelmed, and till today whenever I see this piece, I just bless her. I've put some tassels here to make it look beautiful. I don't polish it, I just want it to be the way she had given it to me. So towards this side is an almirah, another cupboard. I'm very fond of having a lot of cupboards in my home, and I like not to have the cupboards as fixtures because it gives me the flexibility to move around furniture here and there to different places. This is a dining table. Now, according to the space, I just keep decorating and pieces of furniture. This, for example, is not a very huge dining table. I have about 3 to 4 dining tables of all shapes and all sizes, and this is the one which is a very old one. You can actually see I have not filled in the gaps, I have not filled in the cracks because I love it the way it is. So I feel that lighting also makes a very, very important part of any decor. So to give a very soft touch to the area, I have added these hanging lamps here so that they give you the feel of a little quaint cafe. So now we move to my daughter's room, my daughter Aradhana, who's a fashion designer. She's currently in Canada pursuing further studies. So my daughter Aradhana, she's super gorgeous when it comes to her demeanor, when it comes to the way she dresses up and the way she looks, and she's super spiritual inside. So for the gorgeous part, like any youngster, she wanted a lot of mirrors in her room. So this is the one that I got from a vintage flea market, which has a hint of blue to it. And there's another dresser. This is an old vanity, an old dresser which she liked, and that is why I kept it here. There's another huge mirror to that side, which again has a hint of green and blue. And for the spiritual part, of course, she wanted the entire room in shades of white in terms of upholstery, in terms of curtains, and a hint of light pink could also go on the bed covers. She's a very, very creative person. Right from the beginning, I think before she could even start writing, she started making caricatures and sketches. And her sketches are one of the most beautiful sketches that I've ever come across. Not that she's my daughter, but I actually mean it. Like, this is a small scribble from her. And it must have taken her just a couple of seconds as in 10 to 15 seconds to make it all. And they give so much happiness and so much peace to me. I always tell her, whenever you want to gift me something, please make a scribble, just sketch something and give it to me. So I feel it's very important to have one particular theme or one particular feel to the entire home. So let me just take you to the store. It's a quaint little room, but I've tried to done it up and I've tried to give a very vintage vibe to it. So this is the storeroom. It's a very small room if you see, but to give that vintage vibe and to make it look a little more village-like, I have put this open shelf here, and on the shelf I have kept some Raja Ravi Varma frames because they lend a lot of beauty to the room, and some old pital and brass utensils have been kept here because somehow I've always been very fond of villages, and the village-like feel always appeals to me, and that is why I think my entire home, right from the drawing room to the living room to the bedrooms and to the store also, it has a village-like feel to it. So the store leads to this passage area, which you will see one entire wall is dotted with old frames of gods and goddesses. In fact, my entire home has old frames of gods and goddesses in it, and somehow I feel it gives a very beautiful, peaceful ambience to the entire place, and it's as if the entire home is being blessed by gods. So from here we come to the master bedroom. So the kind of a bohemian person that I am, the kind of interests and the kind of tastes that I have in home decor, which is very rustic and very shabby and very cottage-like, I wanted the bedroom also to be like that, somewhat like that. So I keep a lot of cushions on the bedroom, and the cushions are the ones that lend a lot of good color to the white bed sheets. I try to keep the bed sheets white always. The curtains are always white because they kind of lend a certain amount of peace and serenity and calmness to the entire place. This thing here is a very old frame, and I've kept it here because I love the white color of it. Somehow it is something which is very unusual that I found, and that is why I kept it here. This behind me is actually a towel stand. It's a very old towel stand, but I somehow use it to just throw some pieces of handicrafts here, because that is how the color comes into play. This here is a small table, and this is an old chair, if you can make out, the way I just normally sit down and have enjoy my cup of coffee here. Sometimes I just read a book here. This again is a very old dresser that I picked up from Meerut. We were posted in Meerut, and that is where I picked it up from. A very old piece, a very beautiful rustic piece. So this was my bedroom, my safe haven, my personal space. From here, let me take you to my garden. Please come. So this is the area where I enjoy my morning cup of coffee. I do a little bit of yoga and meditation, and I also do my riyaz while sitting over here, because that is what prepares me for the rest of the day. It's a kind of a meditation and devotion for me. I love the feel of wilderness, and that is why, I've kept it very rustic, so that, it looks like an old quaint cafe kind of a thing happening. Some old and, rustic brassware and copperware have been used as planters in my garden. Thank you so much for watching this video, and for more such content, please subscribe to LBB's Homely newsletter.